Hello, thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to be installing luxury vinyl tile. The best way to install luxury vinyl tile is with our temp zone system covered with self-leveling cement. As you can see, we've got the room emptied out and we've got the floor cleaned up. That's a very, very important first step. And once we get the floor cleaned up, we're going to start looking for any penetrations in the floor, because what we're doing is we're going to be using self-leveling, and that self-leveling is going to want to try to exit through the holes in the floor. So we're going to fill them up, and once we get them filled up, we make sure there's no sharp objects sticking out of it. We're then going to put primer down, and then we'll be prepared to lay our temp zone system down and then cover it with a level about 3/8 of an inch thick of self-leveling underlayment. Now we're ready to start working with our cut and turn roll, the flex roll. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to go over the anatomy of this roll a little bit. If you take a look at this roll, you can see that there are a bunch of stickers on here, and all of them are very important. The first and foremost thing is you need to make sure that if you have 240 volts called for on your plan, that you have a 240 volt system. And if you look on this wire, you can see that it's red and black. Red and black means 240. If this were 120 volt circuit, it would be yellow and black. And there is a ground on here, and this is what we're going to be testing. One thing you also have to do is you have to just not take all this stuff and throw it away. You want to take these data sheets. There's 2 of them on each roll, plus the same sticker is on the end of the wire as per the National Electric Code. So one of these needs to go on the electrical box where the circuit breaker is for the unit. The other one goes in the instruction manual for the homeowner, and this one will stay attached in case you are going to get inspected. It needs to be within 3 inches of the end of the cable. Also, if you notice on here, there is a red sticker that says 240 volts. That's going to coincide with the color of the wires. Okay, here we can get a little bit better shot of the data sheets and also the one that's attached to the cold lead. On here, you're going to find the ohms readings that are the factory ohms readings that they were tested at. And now we can hold this on with one hand. And we're getting around 55, and that's just about what the label says, so that's good. So we write this number down and we put it on the warranty card. The next thing we do is we need to make sure that there's no continuity or ohms between black to ground or red to ground. To do that, you just keep your ohm meter set at the 200 range, just like it was. We should get nothing, and there's our ohm reading. So now we go to red, go to ground, we should have nothing, and there's our ohm reading across red to black. So your tests are red to black, black to ground, red to ground. And they need to match up with the amount that's written on this sticker. A couple things when you're working with the flex roll, that is to make sure that the wire is facing downward as much as you can. There are some designs that it has to be done wire side up, but when we're doing self-leveling, we want to try to make sure the wire is down, because we're going to staple the mesh down to the floor, and that's going to keep the wire from wanting to float to the top of the self-leveling. So we need to make sure this is attached to the floor really well. We're going to staple it to the plywood. And if you notice, we did our cuts and turns, but we haven't attached anything yet, because you want to get your cuts and turns done first without attaching it to make sure everything works as per the design. And then if it does fit, then you know, okay, I'm ready to go ahead and attach it to the subfloor. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to attach it to the subfloor by putting staples in the mesh. Never ever put staples over the wire. We're stapling the mesh down, and that's going to keep the wire down, and that's going to keep the whole assembly from floating to the top of the self-leveling. As you can see, all the work is done now. We just had to do some finishing touches on this room and it will be completely finished. So what we've done is we've used our Temp Zone Flex Roll system, installed it under self-leveling. And the great thing about doing that is once you have the self-leveling covering the Temp Zone Flex system, you can then use whatever flooring type you want on top of that flat surface. That's the great thing about self-leveling is it gives you a nice flat surface. You can put any kind of flooring over, carpeting, laminate. You can put LVT over here, do these type of planks that you see now. And if you decide, hey, down the road, I want to put tile on it, you can even do that. You just lift all this stuff off the floor and you can put tile down. So it's a very, very flexible type of installation that allows you to change your flooring type whenever you feel like it. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure you join us for our next video. They're always found on our website at warmlyyours.com. Thanks for watching.